Obviously, a couple days out from a big debut here. I guess what's the excitement, the energy like for you at this point?
Just really enjoying the moment. Back when I fought for Bellator, I was like, first year as a pro, first pro fight in the States. I didn't really enjoy the moment. I was just I don't even remember my weight cut. I'll be honest. I don't remember the weigh-ins at all. I only have a couple of photos to reference, and I kind of regret it. Like not taking in the moment as much, but it was a good lesson, and here I am, like just kind of enjoying the moment, not too carried away, and not thinking about the fight too much, because the fight's going to happen no matter what, so there's no point in putting yourself through it twice.
Yeah, great way to put it. And what were your timing, right, as PFL and Bellator come together? I mean, how was that set in on you? It seems kind of a wild time for you.
Yeah, I did a post yesterday about me at the weigh-ins 2018, and then now it's like fight week, they announced it. I'm sure they had it all planned, but still the fact that, my timeline, my path, the fact that it kind of went this way, it's kind of cool. I don't know if you guys watch, I'm a huge comic book fan, Loki season 2,
Right.
Like the timelines, I'm like, man, mine went this way. It's kind of cool. Who would have thought in my timeline it would be PFL buying Bellator years later, And then for me, it was always like, the big three organizations that you want to fight for, and then now it's like 2 and 1. So it's like, oh, there you go.
That's awesome. Circle. Talk about the matchup that you have here. How much have you educated yourself on your opponent? What do you think about what he presents to you?
He's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger, more experience, more fights. That's a tough fight right there. But if I win, then what is anyone going to say, right? And also on top of that, why would I want to fight anyone that's not as good? Like you want to push yourself, and I think it's a tough fight. But at the same time, I was doing another interview and I was saying, like, I love Batman, he may have like the toughest villains, but at the same time, he's always got that kryptonite in his pocket.
That's awesome. Right. Last thing for me, I'm kind of curious about what you hope to accomplish out of this fight, right? Like, I mean, you're on this massive card, right, because of things outside of the cage, right? I mean, is it important to you to improve something inside the cage?
I mean, there's nothing really to prove in terms of like, I'm coming in here and like fight game plan, like I'm not going to fight the guy where he's great at, that makes no sense. I think my goal is get the win. I got this platform in front of me, PFL Asia, let's make it happen. You know what I mean? I want to open up the doors there. I think you guys would all love going there. I fought over there in Taiwan multiple times. It's safe, it's clean, it's fun, it's got delicious food. I don't know if you guys like eating, but man, it'd be cool to see you guys all there, and maybe I'll be there to help. I mean, I'm even willing to help connect PFL like to the government over there, because I have some connections. I did some seminars back over there. I'm not trying to get paid at all. I'll do it for free just because I want to see some of my boys over there shine.
That's cool.
Khai, you mentioned that you have fought in Thailand before. Your resume has a bunch of different promotions where obviously you've experienced different styles, different environments. How does this match up to everything, all of your past fights?
Taiwan, by the way. I would have loved to have fought for Thailand. I actually had an opportunity, but then PFL kind of knocked on the door. I'm like, yeah, I think I want to leave with PFL. But you're saying how is the
how does this stage compare to all your previous fights?
Well, I would say everyone here speaking English. That's but no, I would say it's not a joke. Actually, it's like the food isn't the same. There's like boba across the street. Over there, it's like all over the place. I don't know. I'm thinking more of food because I'm cutting weight. But the stage, I'd say it's pretty good. Like, you can't complain. This is PFL, man. Say what you want about PFL and they're doing this and that, but hey, Don Davis said it best. He's trying to compete with the big guys. And right now I'm signed to PFL, so my job is to help speed up the process. He says in 5 years, he wants to compete with the UFC. I'm going to try to make it sooner, and especially with that Asia market that I think is kind of untapped. I really want to show the potential there. All they have is money over there and opportunities, and it's an untapped market. So anyone that kind of gets their foot in the door there, I think it's a good start.
Hey, Khai, talking about this location, man, Washington, D.C., while you're here during fight week, any sites that you want to tap into?
Probably the White House, right? Like, I think that's the main one. The theater that Abraham kind of got assassinated, that was like, we learned about the Ford Theater in third grade or something. Like, we're learning about assassinations in third grade. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool to go check that out. Other than that, I don't know. I love the history. I love seeing some of the stuff, but at the same time, there's a lot of obligations kind of going around, so I'm just kind of running and finding some time to do that, and also feeding my training partners here because they're not fighting, and I'm dragging them along on Thanksgiving week, so
Yeah.
door dashing food for them all the time.
Now, you talk about being a big comic book guy. I was curious, what superheroes do you feel you resonate the most with, or would describe yourself as?
I gotta say Batman. You know, like Bruce Wayne, he doesn't look like Batman, obviously, right? And he looks like this guy that's undisciplined. I have no cauliflower ear. If I walked in the street, people would not think I'm a fighter. I don't think a lot of you may have even recognized me walking around here. Maybe not, because I just don't have that physique, that build. But then come fight night, I think that's when, you know, I get dressed up, get in fight shape, fight zone, you know? And yeah, that's kind of how I feel. That's why I say Batman. And not because he's like super cool or anything, or like he's rich and I'm rich, because no. I mean, the pay here is a lot better now, so, you know. But I think it's more along the lines of how he has a game plan for everyone, you know? Like he fought Bane, who's like super steroided up, but he still has a game plan to kind of beat him with certain things, you know? I'm going to nerd out if you guys keep asking me.
Yeah. Lastly, from me, Mark Zuckerberg, check in. How's he doing?
He's doing great. He posted that video of him playing the video games, and he's like, "You were wondering how I got here?" You know, it sucks, but I mean, I think with the way his work ethic is, he'll be back in no time, and he loves it. You know, I'm sure after like 3 months of ACL injury, you could start walking around. I'll probably start holding pads for him again or something, just basic stuff, but. Whatever he wants to do, I'm backing him up next. Obviously, when someone gets injured, you don't go to them right away like, hey, you want to compete, you know, this, that. You just kind of like let them recover. Recovery is the most important. You don't want to rush back into anything too, you know.
Absolutely. Best luck, champ.
Kai, is there any significance to the ring you got on, or is this just a...
No, it was my father's. He gave it to me, and he got a new one. So he just gave me this one. And it's kind of like it's been in the family for like, you know, years. So I don't know. He was like, you earned it, you know.
Good luck charm, maybe?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've been wearing it for a couple years now. Maybe when I was like 23, I was wearing it. He was like, "Man, you don't look like a grown-up yet," you know. And then maybe when my face was on some posters in Taiwan, and they started telling him how good his son was doing, then he was like, "All right, I guess you can wear it."
There you go.
Typical Asian dad, you know. Be a doctor or lawyer. Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, as for the fight stuff, obviously you just want to win no matter how you can get it, man. But, like, when you envision it, do you have an ideal way if you'd prefer, like, submission, knockout, or anything specific that way?
No, I don't want to chase the finish, because if you look at his record, he's got about, out of his 9 wins, 2 finishes, but the rest are decisions, which means he could go the full distance. And I don't want to expect to finish and it doesn't happen, and then I you know, get caught up in that. So I just want to don't chase, let the finish come to me naturally, and just, you know, win like that. And if the finish does come, I'll capitalize.
Guy, you're fighting at a time in the PFL where the PFL doesn't have a bantamweight division currently. Right?
I found that out a couple days ago.
So in terms of, obviously you're focused on this fight, right? But looking long term, has there been anything told to you in terms of a long-term plan for the bantamweight division or a season format or anything like that?
Honestly, I'm not even kidding. I look at, like, I think your guys' Twitter page or X to find out, like, news. Like, I asked them, and then, you know, I think Tammy here, she's the one that kind of helps me out with this stuff. She didn't tell me anything. So she's like, yeah, I'll let you know. And it's just, that's it. But I'm hoping, you know, we speed things up. The fact that I'm the first 35 kind of fight, right? I mean, I didn't know that. I assumed that they had, like, other showcase bouts that was at 35, but apparently not. So that's kind of cool. You know, it's like pretty historical. And with the Bellator acquisition now, I'm sure they might do something soon.
And what are your thoughts on potentially competing in a season format, right? Because it's so different from other organizations in MMA. What are your thoughts on kind of that format specifically?
Well, if you look at my first year as a pro, I pretty much did 6 fights in 1 year. It was pretty crazy. And I ended up like fracturing my shin and injuring my body. And I'm like, that makes sense, you know, why that happened. But realistically, I do like competing pretty frequent. I'm not getting any younger, you know. I may look young, but I'm 28 now, you know, so I got my prime years are starting now. So I would love to compete as much as I can. I don't plan on competing into my late 30s either, you know. So, yeah, I do like that format. Keeps me active.
Hi, you've trained with Mark Zuckerberg, obviously. Would you ever have him in your corner for a fight?
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, if he's not too busy running his company, you know, like if he ain't got anything else to do, sure, you know, come over.
I like that. And one more question for me. You've trained jiu-jitsu with him. What do you think is his best submission?
Oh, I don't want to give that away because he might be competing again, and I don't want everyone knowing it's coming, But it's good.
You're loyal. I like that.
Hey Kai, did you train at Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu for the majority of this camp?
Yeah, I split my time. My brother-in-law is Dave Camarillo. I've known him since I was 2. He's super famous now and doing like John Wick and all those films. He used to be just a little background. He used to do like the head coach at AK, the grappling department, and then he went off and did his own thing. So people think I learned a bunch of secrets from him, but honestly, he's in Hollywood half the time, so I don't even get to chat with him and pick his brain as much as I'd like to. And he doesn't like the fight game like that anymore. He likes Keanu Reeves. He likes having breakfast with him. I don't blame him. So that's kind of where I train at now. It's with James Terry. It's in Pleasanton. There's a bunch of affiliate locations now in the Bay Area. We have one in Australia, maybe Germany. I don't know. It's crazy. I haven't even visited half the locations, but Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu is doing pretty well.
Yeah, going off that, I didn't know that Dave, you were related to him. What kind of effect on your life has he sort of given you over the years?
Yeah, well, he was the one that got me into jiu-jitsu. I had that story of getting bullied when I was younger, and then he basically was like, hey, you should get into jiu-jitsu, try it out for a little bit. And then he never let me join kids class, so I was kind of rough, just getting destroyed by adults every day since I was like 9. And then finally, when I turned 14, one day, like, it wasn't puberty, it was just like I finally got the skill set, and I was like actually able to submit some of the adults, and I was like, wow, this is awesome, I'm gonna keep at it. And then that's kind of how I got into slowly but surely competing. And after I started competing, I was like, maybe I could do this, maybe I could knock someone out, maybe I could make money off it. And then it led me to here.
Next question? I got one for you.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to pull out of the back trunk of your skills move? Anything special that you love to do in practice? Maybe you might see something.
No, but now that you mention it, I might go back to the drawing board and create a back pocket that I didn't know I had, and maybe pull something out of there. Honestly, the fight itself, I've ran fights through my head several times, and it almost never goes that way. So you almost want to be adaptable, just like the nickname that I have, the Shadow. I can blend into anything, and that's how I plan on going into this fight with that mindset.
Excellent.
All right, thanks, man.
Bless you.